Hi everyone, this is the Healthful Trans Elder, and my name is Ricky. This is North County, San Diego, California, and I'm in Duluth Canyon, and I live on an organic farm on a little house, a little trailer. Basically, it's right behind that giant passion fruit that I started 2 years ago. Actually, I started a little bit earlier from seed. But this passion fruit right there has a lot of great passion fruit once it gets going here, and it won't be just very long. It'll have thousands of bees and lots of these amazing passion fruit. And I have a garden back here that I'm working on today. And I think that primarily what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my camera up. I'm just going to kind of show you what I got going on today. I would normally be doing a pretty good trek. I do try to do 5 miles at least 4 times a week, 5 miles in the canyon here, with my trekking sticks, and I do a certain kind of walk, which is kind of like a swim walking, and I also teach that. So that is at 3.3 miles an hour, 37 flights of stairs, and it took a long time to be able to train to do that in an hour and a half. So, but I need to refresh every now and then. Those mitochondria and the ATPs that are inside me need a chance to revive, and sometimes I need a day or two to build them back up before I go out there and hike through this canyon again. So today is going to be burning some calories, but it's going to be in cleaning up because everything is growing like absolute crazy out here. I'm going to flip the video around, show you what I've got going on today, and perhaps finish talking about what I really want to talk about today. So this video is kind of a little bit about just being who I am, and kind of showing the world via my video log that people like myself are kind of normal everyday people. We just have a different way of expressing that. I live in a small little tiny trailer. My story begins way back, which one of these days, as I said, I'll start a video log. But I started my transition after I was encouraged and after a very long recovery from a disease of alcoholism. And in figuring that out and knowing already, knew what was really going on, I found that in learning some of the things that program has to offer, that I found the courage to actually do what I needed to do for myself. Now, the reason I am starting cutting this here and getting it out of here because it's getting way too heavy. The rats are everywhere out here in this canyon, and when the water comes and the rain comes, doesn't really do much to keep the water out. It actually ends up being a big giant puddle under this, and it leaks through the roof anyway, so this is no good for the roof, that's for sure. It may offer some shade, but it's not helping with anything else. And if I take a tumble, it'll be on video and probably make a viral video or something like that. But I'm going to try my best not to fall and cut through this, because when I finish cutting through this thing, it's going to want to fall off the roof, and I don't want to go with it. So I'm starting it from way down here. So I left the community that I was living in order to come out, and when I started my transition, I self-medicated, and I think that once I decided to come out, I was already developing and already becoming more confident in who I was going to become. So that was sort of like my transition, how I entered the world as a real trans person later in life. Then I discovered that in order to further that desire to be myself, as I learned, be true to yourself. To further that, I needed a little bit of medical assistance, and that medical assistance required quite a bit of money that I didn't have. But I was also happened to be lucky enough to be having medical insurance that would cover that if it was a medical condition that I had, which I had discovered that medical condition was called gender dysphoria. That's the thing that the psychologist had figured out that I was gender dysphoric. And when that was revealed, it gave me another window into what my development might be, what my opportunities as a gender dysphoric person could be, and I explored those further. And after a lot of research and some help with some psychology and some therapists, not too much in that area, but a lot of my own soul searching, I might want to say, came to the conclusion that I wanted to medically do as much as I could, but I had the realization that too much, or not too much, but furthering my desire and a complete thing such as vaginoplasty for me would have been something I wouldn't have been able to maintain at my age, that I decided to transition. But I did go with the other part of the surgery, and I'm really happy about that. That was important because of all the other things that suppressed testosterone and all of that I didn't need at all. So I have no problems with the fact that that was something I could do. And I did, and I have been that way for a long time. So I don't have a lot of testosterone running through my system, and that doesn't because it doesn't really make you strong, but I also have to make sure that I balance that, because there are things that will happen if you don't take care of your balance, your nutrition and your exercise. Extremely important, exercise. So once I determined that was a really very important part of my transition, it helped metastasize, or whatever they want to, not metastasize, but metabolize. Gosh, I don't want to metastasize anything. Metabolize the testosterone that I had in my fat cells. So a lot of testosterone for a male to female is in a lot of fat cells. So you hold on to testosterone for a long time. And the way to kind of like eliminate it more quickly is exercise. And things do make a difference, but not only that, but you're going to save yourself a lot of physical problems later on down the road. It's keeping your bones in shape, your calcium, and all the other parts of your body that need a balanced, exercise and things like that if you're on hormone therapy. So I am going to kind of stop the video here and move my ladder, and I may start this up in a few minutes. Well, I'll just keep it going. I can edit it out. Well, guess what I found? That's where all the rats are taking the stuff I put out for them, which doesn't seem to work real well, but it slows them down a little bit. I'm sure it slows them down a little bit. That's what it was designed to do, but they were carrying it up here and depositing it underneath all of this stuff. And by golly, that was contributing to a leak or two. Now, let us see how this all comes crashing down. Are we ready for this? Yay! That's a lot of stuff. Hope there's no rats in here. I don't know. Okay, one problem solved. I painted that white so that it would reflect the sunlight, and I thought I was doing myself a favor letting that grow over the top, but not a good idea out here. There are just too many rats, and they like this kind of stuff. So I'm friends with a lot of critters, but too many rats. Rats. Too many. So if you've hung in the video this long, you know it's not about trying to talk about all the things that are not right about what's going on with trans people today. And one of the reasons for that is that I watch enough videos of people who are really working hard to make the change in the environment at a different level than what I can do. Politically and social media, there is nothing I can really contribute except for what I'm contributing right now. So like I said, if you've hung in here this long, you're only watching a video log about how I am working with my phenomenon of aging. At my stage of life, from here until like 90, it is equivalent to the same as about from being 1 year old to 18. That's a lot of changes that go on in that particular point in time. And in life, the opposite happens at the far end of the spectrum. So if you're looking at a bell curve, it's like this, that fast going up, it's that fast going down. So I'm in that happy part on the roller coaster where you end the station and get off the ride. And that I want to enjoy in life. And I believe that listening to everything that is going on right now, I think I've been through this before. Yeah, I remember very well when Robert F. Kennedy, Robert. I remember him as well, but when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, I was on the playground in elementary school. So there are many things that I've been through in life here that I can look at in contrast of what I'm viewing today. And so therefore my level of anxiety about what's happening today is somewhat being held in check. Let's put it that way. So for now, what I have chosen to do with what the currency I have left in life, that I call what time I've got left, I consider that currency. So I'm going to spend that time in a way that is beneficial to what I have left. I'm not going to rehash something that I have already lived. I've already lived that. That's over. That's why what's next is what's next. What's over is over. And I'll move on. And I've been working on these root balls. This is another one I pulled in from outside. It's been sun bleached, but it's also been processed in my method of proofing these things for insects and decay and things. They've been in the ground for a long, long time. And there were other residents in this before I found it. So the process of getting this ready to go is just like almost the process of a lot of other things in life. It takes time and it takes patience and dedication. So you got to follow through with a lot of different things, especially at different stages of your transition, if you're transitioning, or if you are a trans person later in life. And hopefully maybe this channel will sooner or later show up to a few people who are making a change later in life and need a little bit of support, need a little bit of contrast to see somebody who is in that area. Now we're all different. I mean, I'm not where I live right now. You're not going to see me in makeup in my dresses and any other anything like that. But I do dance, and I do have earrings, and I do put makeup on, and I do have dresses. But I just don't do it out here. So I just wanted to let you know that. Anyway, so I think I'm going to end the video here with that. It's been a long one. If you're interested in hanging in here and watching this old trans elder get on with her life here in a very small way, because I'm on a limited income and I don't expect this channel to go crazy, only because the algorithm isn't going to promote people like me. So I hope if you are watching this and you like it, you do give me a thumbs up, and that's helpful to my own ego. But with that, I think I'll go ahead and stop rambling and say goodbye until the next video. Bye bye.